What is up, YouTube? We got Soup here from BHLGaming.com coming to you guys with a little tutorial on making some banners for BHL. I'm sure you've seen them around. These ones, they're all flying around, crazy stuff like that. Just give you a little hint of what it looks like really quick here. Maybe not. Okay, well, you'll see. So what you're going to need for this, you're going to need Cinema 4D, obviously. You're going to need Photoshop, any version of Photoshop. I use CS3 because that's the easiest, I think, with the animation window. And you're also going to need QuickTime Video Player. So if you don't have it, it's one of the things that comes with iTunes, but if you don't have it, then go search for it on Google. It's free. It's necessary to make the banners because you need to save it as a QuickTime movie document. So as you can see, I got it there. So what you're going to do first is open up Cinema 4D. And we'll just wait for that to open up. Alright, and now you got all this stuff. Looks really confusing. So, first thing you're going to do, you're going to go and play with the render settings, which is this little like movie kind of play thing with a settings wheel behind it. So click on that, and then you got your output, save, multipass, and all that stuff on this side. We're only interested in the first two, output and save. So the width is going to be 300. The height is going to be 30, because those are the max sizes for a BHL banner. And then you can set the resolution to whatever you want. I like 150 because, I don't know, that's just a higher resolution, makes things look nicer. Makes the file a little bit bigger, but oh well. And then you're going to go over to the save. I turn on alpha channel because I don't want the background to be saved into it. And you can just save it as a QuickTime movie. Next thing, choose where you want to save it. This is going to be my banner, so I'm going to save it into my BHL GFX area. I'm going to just save it as Soup Banner C4D. So once we got all that, I just go back and check that I got alpha channel on. That is a QuickTime where I want it to be. Oh, I forgot this part. The frame range. You're going to need to set it to all frames. Or else it'll just load one thing in there. So make sure you put that on all frames. That'll change there later once I start actually doing the animations and whatnot. Width 300, height 30, 150 DPI. Yeah, so once I got all that, just exit out of there, and now you can see these little black bars up above and below the little center thing here. That is the region that'll actually be rendered when you're actually rendering out your thing. So that's kind of important to take note of, I think. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go up to MoGraph, and I'm going to grab this thing here. It says MoText up on the top bar. If you don't have this, then you probably have the wrong version of Cinema 4D. You need Studio. Yeah, anyways, go MoGraph, MoText, and my computer will stop responding when I try to put this in. Yep. Alright, so we got that. I'm just going to click and change this text to say, come play with. And I'm going to align it to the middle. I'm going to change the font really quick. And it'll stop responding. Alright, and we're back. So I'm going to choose a font that I think will look cool with this. Preferably one that doesn't run into each other too much when you stick them side by side. Generally, I think the coolest font that I have, anyways, on my computer is um, black. I think. Hold on. Bank Gothic. There we go. See, that's like a clean looking text. It's really easy to read. I just like that the best. That's my favorite font, I think, that I have on my computer. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit more complexity to this. So first off, I'm just going to rename this to CPW. Stands for Come Play With. It just helps me kind of organize what's what in this entire thing. Then I'm just going to copy paste it. You could do Control C, Control V, or you can right click, then or click on it, then go File, Edit, whatever, copy paste, all that stuff. Then the second one that I've made, this is going to be the outlining of it. So you're going to, where it says Object, Basic Coordinates, Object Caps, all that stuff, it should start you out on Object. You're going to go and click Caps, which is right next to it. The start and the end, you're going to change those to fillets, and that's what's going to give you this little outline that you can kind of see right now, but you'll see more when I put colors in here. So now we got our fillets and we got the caps. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to group these just so I can make it, just so it's a little bit easier to find when I'm trying to make the animations and whatnot. I'm going to name that to CPW. And now I'm going to bring in some colors. The colors I'm going to use, I'm just going to use the ones that I got out of the skull render for BHL. It has most of the right colors for the site on here. So I'm just going to use that. First, I'm just going to get rid of this softbox here, and I'm just going to shrink down the BHL logo. I'm going to grab this and center it and move it out of the way so I can see what I'm doing with this. So now I'm just going to decide what colors I want for my banner. Let's go Pro Donator on the outside, and we'll see what black looks like with the inside. And if you don't like it, you can change the colors and stuff. It's all really pretty simple to do. See, I like that it looks like over there, but the light coming in from over there. So what you do with that, pretty much you just grab a light and just move it really far away. Maybe tone down the intensity a little bit. And there we go. So that looks nice and dark now, I think. So I like that. Now I'm just going to zoom back in a little bit here. And this takes patience, guys, so just bear with me when I'm doing all this. I mean, it seems tedious, but once you get it actually to work, it's like a really exciting thing when it actually comes together and works. So I'm just going to do a quick render again just to make sure that it looks the way I want it to look. Yeah, that'll do for now. So now I'm just going to stick these colors onto the BHL skull itself. Just really quick, get those on there. Render that up, see what it looks like. Alright, so yeah, that looks pretty cool, I think. So I'm going to use that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this CPW right now and going to Control, copy, paste, stick it right there, and I'm going to rename this to Soup because I'm going to change the text part here. And what you do, you got to open it back, or open it up more. So click the plus sign next to it, and then you want to select just these two in here, and then you go to Object, and then you can change the text for both of them. So now you can see it's Soup there. I mean, it's stacked on top of it, but it'll all get moved around in a little bit. So now we're going to start animating it. So if you need to slow down or pause the video for this, do that, because this part is when it gets a lot more complicated when you're actually doing this. I'm going to be giving you guys a really basic animation. You could play around with it. I'm just going to give you guys like the tools on how to do these kind of things for yourself. So I'm going to set my frame range up to 160. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select the layer that I'm gonna be moving first, which is come play with, and I'm gonna click this little button here. It looks like a key in a circle. That is called the keyframe button. So if I say keyframe, that's what I mean. So it records active objects. So I'm gonna click it, and as you can see, there's that little blue dot there now. And now I'm just gonna move this forward about 20 frames, and then after you move the keyframe forward, then you want to move your text or whatever you are animating forward. Because if you move if you animate first and then move the keyframe over, then it won't save the actual keyframe. And that's one of the most frustrating things when you're doing all this, is to get done with some animation and then, oh look, you didn't move the keyframe. So just make sure you did it, and also getting the exact measurements. Okay, so that's there now, and I'm just going to click keyframe again to save it, and we'll go back and we'll click the play button so you can see what it looks like when it comes up actually. So I like the way that looks. I mean, it's good enough for this right now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set the keyframe again. I'm going to rotate it a little bit this way. This is just for some flair right here. Then I'm going to move it forward a little bit. Set a keyframe. Move it back to where it was, or try to do that at least. Right about there, I think. And then rotate it again. And then set a keyframe again. And y'all can play around with it, or whatever animations you want these to look like. This is just pretty much what I wanted them to be. So now I'm going to bring this over here a little bit. And then I'm going to have it zip out this way. So if you want to see what that looks like overall, just go and click the play button, and it'll do like a quick render of what it'll look like. As you can see, it's just kind of doing blocks right now, but I could deal with that. So now I got that first part animated, and I think it all looks like what I want it to more or less. So I'm gonna grab this part. It says soup. Set a keyframe. Advance the keyframe down, and just gonna make this one do a simple flip forward, and then I'll exit it out just for the sake of time for this tutorial. Y'all could play around with whatever you want it to be. Alright, there we go. And then I'll let that sit there for 20 frames or something. Alright, here, let me, I might use this banner on the actual site, so I might add some flair in there. And then I want it to sit still for that time. And then exit it to this side. So there we got that. And last but not least, the BHL logo. This one I'm just going to bring in. Let it sit there for 10 frames and then exit it out. And there. So when all that is put together, it'll look pretty cool. Once I start actually and put it into Photoshop, you'll actually be able to see what the animation looks like. Right now it's just blocks because my computer isn't very good at rendering this kind of thing on the go. But anyways, we'll see what it looks like. So to do a full render of it, you got to click this button. It's the play button with the little screen looking thing behind it. That's the full render of it, and that'll give you the actual AVI file that you got before. If you click this will just do a quick one. That won't actually give you the file. So you need to click this one, render to picture viewer. So click it, and it'll start rendering. This is going to take a little while to render, so we'll just be patient with that. And if you guys aren't already signed up on the site, I recommend you go and sign up on BHL. It's a really cool kind of community of people who just like to play video games. If you want to rank up faster, they boost. They do just gaming if you want. If you're interested in just doing that, pretty much it's just welcome to anyone who wants to come in, show off your GFX skills if you have any. They got competitive gaming teams, sniper team, YouTube. They got newsletter team. There's just a lot of stuff that goes on with the site. It's a really cool place to be. Yeah, doing some advertising right now. So, just let this render out. And I'm just going to listen to some music while it's doing that. Check my Skype. Alright. Alright, and as you can see, the parts where it's more stuff that has to be rendered other than the black background that takes longer to render. So just be patient with the rendering. Be patient with the entire process. Don't get frustrated, just exit out of the program. So once it gets to the final frame of 160, just going to exit out of here, and I'm going to save this in case I want to come back and change the colors or whatever. Soup enter C4D. So there. Now we've got to move on to the Photoshop part. So what are you going to do for this part? It's not too difficult to do, I don't think. All you got to do, once you get it open, File, Open, go to wherever you save the file at. For me, that's in this area. Right here. Should look like that. Open that up. Alright, and there's that. So, got to sneeze. Mute my mic really quick. Okay, so what you do to get the animation stuff here, you're gonna go to Window and you're gonna go to Animation. So now, as you can see, I got all this stuff here. I personally prefer the frame by frame view, but that doesn't work for this. So all I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna create a new layer over in the sidebar here, and I'm gonna grab whatever color I want my background to be. Generally, black is just gonna look the best. I mean, you can't really go wrong with it when you're doing these banners. If you want to add something more fancy in there, you can do that. But I think it just looks best with just straight up black. So as you can see, it's going through the entire process of what the banner actually looks like now. And I like it. So now I'm just going to go File, Save for Web and Devices, because that's the only place you can save a GIF. Save it as a GIF. So right now, as you can see, I got it saving as a GIF. Selective here, diffusion, transparency check, all that jazz. Don't save it yet because this part right here, looping options, you want it to loop forever, else it's just going to go through the process once and then you're not going to be able, it's not going to go through anymore, which is kind of lame, but oh well. So loop it forever. You can click play here to see what it looks like again if you want to. I already know what it looks like, so I'm just going to click save. And there it is. Save it on. And I'm not going to say the Photoshop file because that part's really short. So now I'm going to show you guys how to actually use it on the site. There's like a specific little code that you're going to need for it. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to upload this to Imgur. That's where I host all my images at. I mean, you can host it pretty much wherever you want. This is just pretty much wherever you want it to go. I already have like most of my collection on there, so I'm just going to do it there. So upload. So got to find where I saved it at. And it's this one right here. So open it up, start the upload, and it's there. So now I'm just going to open it, get the actual link for just the image, copy it, and now I'm going to go and grab where I have all my BHL codes saved. To use this thing, you have to set in a code for a BB code for the site. I'm actually going to be updating this invite banner. So what you're going to need to do for the code, bracket URL equals, and you're going to want the link to your gamer tag, to message your gamer tag. So if you don't know how to do that, just click the invite button in the shout box and then grab that link that it brings you to. Or you can just use this one and then put, then put your name in here. If there's any spaces, it's %20 in between them, and then bracket at the end. Then you're going to go and start another bracket. You're going to put IMG. You can put it in all caps if you want to. It's not absolutely necessary. Then you're going to put another bracket, and then you're going to put the link to the image. And I'm just going to put the new link there. And then you're going to put bracket / /IMG bracket, then bracket / URL bracket. And that's going to give you the actual thing. So I'm going to go use that on the site right now just to get probably a Call of Duty Ghost gaming lobby going right now. And it'll show you guys that it'll actually work with the site. So here we go. Just wait for this to load up. Alright, and here we are. So just going to put in the shout box, Ghosts, Gaming, paste the code in there, enter it, and there. As you can see, got my banner, links to my gamer tag, banned account, obviously, if you know. Anyways, that's important. So, yeah, that's how you use it on the site. That's how you make the banners. If you got any questions, just come and ask me, guys. Yeah, this has been Soup from BHL. I'll catch you guys later.